Hi, we're going to start today with some dictation, just concentrating on rhythms. So let's go ahead and do a few of these. You can see we're going to be in 4/4 time, 2 measures in length, and up here I've got a rhythmic grid. I like to put rhythmic grids up here. Helps me to keep track of my rhythm when I'm taking a rhythmic dictation. The large hash mark at the beginning represents beat 1. You can see that happening at each of these measures here. The medium-sized hash mark represents beat 3, and the smaller hash marks represent beats 2 and 4. So you can use these hash marks to help you in trying to figure out these rhythmic dictations. I'm going to play these melodically with a click. You're not going to be responsible to actually taking the melodic dictation, just figuring out things rhythmically. So let's go ahead on to our first one here, and we'll go ahead and work through it, and I'll give you some tips after we've gone through the first one. So let's go ahead and listen to our first one. I'll play it 3 times for you. What you can do is stop the video in between each of the 3 plays if you need to. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and listen to the 3 plays sequentially. So go ahead and get ready. You're going to need a piece of manuscript paper. Put your hash marks if you need them. 4/4 time, 2 measures long. And here's our first dictation. Okay, ready? 4 clicks, and then you'll get 2 measures of a melody. Just take down the rhythm. So here we go. Okay, you can stop if you need to. Otherwise, here's our second play. And here's our third performance. Okay, now if you need to stop and work on it a little bit, you can go ahead. Otherwise, let's go ahead and work through this one together. Now, what I like to do in a jazz rhythmic dictation is, in my own imagination, I straighten out the rhythm as if it's a classical musician. Because once again, what jazz players do is they take what would normally be written in a straight, even eighth type of a format and put it into a swing rhythm, which represents more of a triplet feel. For example, 2/8 notes to a jazz musician are actually played sort of as if it's the first and third triplet of a triplet group that represents 1/4 note. So 2/8 notes, actually, we would read them like this, but they actually would be played like that. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is play it back for you in an even eighth note style and see if that helps you. Okay? So here it is being played in an even eighth note style. Here we go. Okay, and let's go ahead and listen to that one more time. Okay, so that's as if a classical musician were to be playing that jazz phrase. So now let's go ahead and see if we can use our rhythmic grid to help us figure out the rhythm of this phrase. So it sounds like as if we've got something happening on beat 1. As we hear it this time, I'm going to go ahead and check off things that I'm hearing as I'm listening to it. I'm going to play the even eighth note version. Okay, here it goes. 1, 2, ready, go. Oh, whoops, I'm going to try that one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I slow it down a little bit, what I heard was this. 1, 2, and dot, do, dot. And then in the second half of that measure, I heard da, 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 dot. Okay? So I heard dot, do, dot, da, 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 dot. Dot, do, dot, da, 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 dot. So I heard something on the and of 3, and on 4, and on the and of 4. 1, 2, and 4, and 1. Okay? Let's go ahead and listen to that first part just to make sure we're right about that. Here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, and 4, and 1. And now let's listen to the second half as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I heard something there on 2 and. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and. So using our hash marks to help us rhythmically, it would look something like this. Now, let's go ahead and listen back as the jazz player would play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's the same rhythm, just swung. So now if we were actually to go ahead and put this in eighth notes and quarter notes, it looks something like this. Beat 1 would get a quarter note, and then 2 eighth notes on 2 and there. Okay? Then it looks as if we have an eighth rest on beat 3, but then we have eighth, eighth, eighth here on beats the and of 3 and on 4 and. Then we have something happening on beat 1 of the next measure. Then something happening on 2 and of the next measure, and then a half note rest. So this looks like it would be the way to write this rhythm, first played straight, like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and. And now played in a jazz setting. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and. Okay, so that's our first jazz rhythm. Let's go ahead on to our second jazz rhythm now. Okay, so here's our second jazz rhythm. I'll go ahead and play it first in a swing style. I'll give you 3 listens to it, and then we'll go ahead and even it out and try to figure it out evenly, because that's how we would be actually writing it down, and then it would be interpreted by a jazz musician. So here's our second jazz rhythm. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, you can go ahead and stop the video if you want. Otherwise, here's our second listen. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and here's our third time through this jazz rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Good. If you need more time, go ahead and stop the video and work on it more. Otherwise, let's go ahead and work on it. I'm going to go ahead and play this now in an even eighth note style and see if that helps you to decipher the jazz rhythm. Here it goes in an even eighth note style. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. And one more time, play even. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now let's go ahead and use our hash marks and see if we can determine when things are happening rhythmically in the even eighth note style. Here it goes. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay, so it seems as though we have something on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da da. So it sounds as if not only do we have something on 1, but 1 and 1 and. So we have da da da, something on the and of 2, but not on 2. Da 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 da. That's very easy. 3 and 4 are the second half of that measure. 1 and 3, 4. And I don't know if you could hear it, but the second measure was exactly the same as the first. Da 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 da. And it might help you to conduct as well. 1 and so we go 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. Okay, so same rhythm in the second measure. Okay, so if we were to interpret that into actual rhythmic notation, we would have 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4, looking something like this: eighth quarter, eighth quarter, quarter, eighth quarter, eighth quarter, quarter. All right, let's go ahead and listen to the straight version one more time just to make sure that that's correct. Then we'll listen to the swing version and hear it being interpreted. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. Okay, and now let's listen to the jazz version. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. And what's interesting in the interpretation of this is that the eighth note is actually played longer as if it's a legato style, and the quarter note here stylistically is played short. Do dot da dot dot do dot da dot dot. So don't get the improper perception here that the eighth note is actually rhythmically longer. It's played in a legato or tenuto style, whereas stylistically the quarter note is played short. Okay, let's try one more of these rhythmic dictations and then we'll go on to some melodic dictation. Okay, here's our third rhythmic dictation. We'll hear this one played 3 times in a swing style. Then we'll go ahead and try to decipher it using an even note style to help us with the rhythm. So here's our jazz rhythm. Okay, 2 measures long, 4/4 time. Get your hash marks ready, and here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, all right. Okay, you can stop if you like. Otherwise, here we go with our second performance. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Remember, you should be trying to even out the jazz rhythm in order to interpret it. Okay, so here we go with our third performance. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, maybe you feel you got a pretty good handle on this jazz rhythm. Let's go ahead and work through it now. What I'm going to do is perform it now in an even eighth style, and we'll try to use that to help us with our jazz rhythm. So here's the even eighth performance of that same melody. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and you can count and conduct now as we go through it this time. Here it comes one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and now we can start to put things on our hash mark grid to see where we are rhythmically. Here it is one last time. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, all right. So in the beginning, it sounds like we have 4 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. But nothing on 3. And then we have 4 and. 1 and 2 and 4 and. Let's listen to that first part one more time. 3, 4. Okay, good. So we have 1 and 2 and 4 and. Okay, in the second measure, we have that syncopated rhythm. 1 and, but nothing on 2. Let's listen to that. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so we don't have anything on 2, but we do have something on 1 and then on the and of 2. Let's listen to this one more time as we watch our grid. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and, 4 and 1 and. Okay, and if we were to put that as a rhythm, we'd have 4 eighth notes. Okay, 4 eighth notes, and then a quarter note rest, 2 eighth notes there on 4 and. Okay, and then we get that very familiar jazz rhythm of eighth, quarter, eighth, and then a half rest. Okay, let's watch this as we listen to it played in an even eighth note style. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and, 4 and 1 and. And now let's listen to it in a swing style to make sure that we're correct here. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and, 4 and 1 and. Okay, good. All right, now let's go ahead on to some melodic dictation using the blues scale. Okay, here's our first melodic dictation using the blues scale. So you're not only going to be responsible for the rhythm, but you're going to be responsible for the melodic tones as well. So I'm going to tell you that this first melody is all derived from the notes of the C blues scale. So let's look at the notes of the C blues scale. We're here in treble clef. The notes of our C blues scale in treble clef are C, and then lowered 3, E flat, 4, which is F, raised 4, F sharp, 5, which is G, and a lowered 7, which is B flat. So we're going to be listening for these pitches. So go ahead and play through those on your keyboard, or go ahead and sing through them as well. Okay, all right. So then we'll go ahead and listen to this one played in a swing style. Okay, our starting pitch, we're going to be in a C blues, and I'm going to tell you that your starting pitch is going to be right here. Here's the tonality of C, and here's your first pitch in the octave of 4. Okay, so here we go with our first performance. I'll give it to you 3 times. You can stop the video in between, and then we'll listen to it in a straight A style and see if we can figure out this melodic dictation. Okay, so here it is. Ready? Here we go. 2 measures long. C blues scale 4/4 time. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. stop if you like. Otherwise, here's our second performance. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. And here's performance number 3. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, now what we're going to do, let's see if you've got a pretty good handle on it. We're going to listen to it now played in an even eighth note style, which is the way that a jazz player would actually see it and then interpret it into a swing style. So hopefully you got by this point that our first pitch is actually C1 in that scale. Okay? Remember, here's the notes of the C blues scale. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and listen to it in an even eighth note style now. Here it comes. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Listen to that one more time and conduct along with it as you're listening to it. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. All right. So it sounds as if we have something on 1 and 2, and then on beat 3 we get 2 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, but nothing on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, in the second measure, da da do da, it sounds as if we've got 1 and 2 and. All right, so there's our rhythm in the second measure. So all together, let's go ahead and listen to it in the straight eighth style and make sure rhythmically we're doing pretty good here. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and. 1 and 2 and. Okay, now what pitches do we have here? Well, you can hear that it sounds as if we're going just to the first 3 pitches of that scale. So we're starting on a C, okay, going up to the second pitch, which is E flat, and then we get 2 repetitive pitches on that F. Okay, actually a half note rest is not correct. It's a quarter note rest there on beat 4. It sounds like we get those 2 Fs repeated, coming down in the next measure, down to E flat and C again at the end. All right, so there would be a correct response to this one. Let's listen to it in the jazz context one more time, just to make sure that we can interpret this even eighth into a jazz rhythm. Okay, so here it is one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. And also you can hear that these 2 eighth notes are performed long short. That's very typical articulation by a jazz player if you see 2 eighth notes in a row that are not followed by another note. Do dot, 3, 4, do dot, long short. And you don't have to really even put any articulations there. That's just the way it's performed. Let's try another melodic dictation here. Okay, so I'll give you a chance to get your score ready. This one's going to be using the notes of the F blues scale this time. For 2 measures long, 4/4 time F blues scale. Okay, here's our next melodic dictation. This one using the notes of the F blues scale. I've written that on the board for us here. F, A flat, B flat, B, C, and E flat. Those are the notes that are going to be happening in this melodic dictation. You can go through and play them on the keyboard if you want. Sing through them there. And let's go ahead and give a listen to this melody. Once again, we're in this tonality, and I'll tell you that the first pitch is right here in the octave of 4. Okay, here's the tonality, and here's your first pitch in the octave of 4. Okay, let's give a listen to this one in a jazz context. I'll play it 3 times. You can stop the video if you want, then we'll go through and listen to it straight and try to decipher this melody. So here we go with our first performance. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, all right. Stop if you like, otherwise here's our second performance. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and here's performance number 3. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and listen to it even eighth and keep track of our grid rhythmically and then figure out the notes melodically as well. So here's an even note performance of this melody. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, let's Let's go ahead and conduct through that again, even note style. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, one more time, and I'll keep track on our rhythmic grid, what's happening here. 1, 2, oops, here we go. 1, sorry, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, sounds like we have the 4/8 notes again at the beginning. Da, da, do, dee, da, da. Da, ba, do, dee, dee, da. Let's listen to that. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so we have 4/8 notes, and then 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, in the second measure, we have something on 1. I remember that. Let's listen to it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and we have something on 2, but not on 3, it sounds like. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Right, nothing on 3, so it's actually on 1 and 2 and that we have something. Okay, so it looks as though our rhythm is going to be 8th, 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 quarter, 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 8th, 8th. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, and. Now we have to figure out the pitches. Hopefully by now you've figured out that the first pitch of this melody is right there on our tonic of the scale, right there on an F. Okay, well, it sounds as if it's just going straight up the scale. Okay, so it looks like our melody goes 1, lowered 3, 4, raised 4, back to 4, and then to the lowered 3. So we have F, A flat, B flat, B natural, B flat, A flat. Okay, so rhythmically, if we put this in there, just putting the stems going down to conserve space here. There we go. Okay, second measure. Okay, B flat, A flat, and C. 4, lowered 3, and 5. Okay, and then it's a rest through the rest of the measure there. Let's go ahead and listen to that in even eighth note style one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and now let's listen to it in a swing style and hear how that translates. 1, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, one more time. 1, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and there's that melody. So hopefully that worked out for you there. Okay, so that was some rhythmic dictation and melodic dictation for this week. Hopefully this is helping you a little bit, and we'll see you the next time through the dictation.